Good morning, everyone. I am Jason Althouse, the Veteran Service Officer for Seminole County. Thank you for joining us this morning to honor our fallen heroes. On Memorial Day, we honor those service members who have made the ultimate sacrifice for their country, while also paying tribute to the family members they left behind. Today, we have the honor of having Gold Star families with us. There are no words to properly express our gratitude for the sacrifices your families have made. Thank you for being with us today. We hope that on this Memorial Day, everyone will take the time to remember and honor the families of our fallen. Our Gold Star families have experienced the pain of losing someone serving their country and have sacrificed by giving their loved ones to all of us. We owe them a debt of gratitude, both for what they have given their country and for the sacrifices they continue to make every day. At this time, I would like to introduce Sanford resident, Mr. Alex Babcock, U.S. Army veteran with service during Operation Enduring Freedom and affiliation with DAV Seminole Chapter 30, to give today's invocation.
Just a tad bit shorter than Jason. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alex Babcock, as Jason said, an Army veteran, here today to help us pay tribute to the fallen, those who gave all that they could in service to their country. With this week's tragedy in Texas still fresh in our minds, it's impossible not to find ourselves mourning that loss of life even as we gather to reflect on the sacrifice of our military. Above all, when we sign an oath to serve our country, we do so to bring peace to our shores for our children so that they may grow up in a better, safer world. It is a goal that should unify us now more than ever. My first job in the Army after training made the concept of sacrifice all too real. I volunteered to be a summary courts-martial officer, meaning I collected the personal effects of a soldier who died in Afghanistan, cataloged them, cleaned them, and prepared them for his wife and young children to receive them, a job I had to do immediately before deploying to Afghanistan myself. I'll never forget that soldier, one of thousands who gave their lives in just one of our many military conflicts. Our nation has embraced religion from its foundation, and it has served the military and military families well in the aftermath of the worst possible news that a loved one has died in battle. It can provide comfort, solace, and perhaps peace, but ultimately we bear the scars of loss, scars that never truly fade, though they may grow less tender with time. As we gather today to remember the fallen, I ask that you join me in prayer. Dear Lord, on this day and every day, we ask that you give us the reverence to reflect on those whose lives have been lost, so that the gravity of their sacrifice is felt by those who carry on. Give us the resilience to endure the pain of tragedy so that we may come through it stronger. Give us the fortitude to face our future in spite of great loss, in spite of despair. Give us the wisdom to find solutions to the challenges before us so that the violence that has claimed so many of our fellow Americans is something relegated to our past and not something to provoke fear for our future. We ask that you care for the souls of our departed service members, that you bring them the peace in the next life that they sacrificed their lives on earth to provide for us. All this we ask humbly, Lord, with gratitude for the proud memories we carry of the brave men and women called to serve our nation. Amen.
Thank you, Alex. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to please rise for the presentation of colors from Seminole County Fire Department Honor Guard, and to remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Seminole County Facilities Certified Trades Worker and Army Veteran, Mr. Dave Chandler.
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to thank and recognize the Gold Star families, along with the Board of Commissioners and Representative Smith, who are in attendance with us today, as well as Sheriff Dennis Lima. I would also like to recognize the School Board of Seminole County that could not be with us due to the graduation ceremonies. Please stand and be recognized. Take your seats. At the May 24th Board of County Commissioners meeting, a proclamation was adopted for Memorial Day. Reading the proclamation is Seminole County Vice Chairman Lee Constantine. This proclamation will be presented to Oviedo resident Maureen Miller and her family. Ms. Miller is the mother of Staff Sergeant Robert A. Miller. Staff Sergeant Miller entered the United States Army on August 14, 2004. He served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan as part of Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 3rd Special Forces Group, Airborne. Staff Sergeant Miller died in combat on January 25, 2008. He was posthumously received the Congressional Medal of Honor at a White House ceremony in 2010. Constable?
Please stand right here. It's fitting, clearly, that Miss Miller and nice to meet you, sir. I did not are here today, and I wanted them to come up and join us at the front. I did want to recognize those duly elected officials, since we were all standing at the time. My fellow commissioners, Commissioner Herr and where's Commissioner Lockhart? And Commissioner Lockhart's behind the camera. Also, Judge Herr is here. J.R. Kroll, constitutional officer from tax collector, our property appraiser David Johnson, our state representative David Smith, and I do not see our sheriff. Sheriff, Sheriff, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much. It's my honor to do this on behalf of not only the commissioners of Seminole County, but the people of Seminole County. And this was adopted at our meeting on the 24th of May. Whereas Memorial Day, we pay solemn tribute to those brave Americans who served under the Stars and Stripes and laid down their lives to defend our freedom. And whereas for more than a century, this holiday was known as Decoration Day and originally honored those who lost while fighting in the Civil War. And whereas, following Americans' entry into World War I, Memorial Day evolved to commemorate American military personnel who died in all wars, including World War II, Vietnam War, the Korean War, and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And whereas, in 1915, after spotting a cluster of poppies, a brigade surgeon was inspired to write the poem In Flanders Field, giving a voice to soldiers who had died in battle and lay buried beneath the poppy-covered grounds. The poem initiated a movement to make the poppy a symbol of tribute to all who have died in war and remains an emblem of remembrance to this day. And whereas Congress, in a joint resolution approved May 11th, 1950, provided that Memorial Day shall be set aside as a day of prayer for permanent peace, and requested President Truman to issue a proclamation calling upon the people of the United States to observe each Memorial Day in that manner. And whereas Monday, May 30th, will mark the 152nd anniversary of Memorial Day. And whereas more than 1.2 million American soldiers have died in conflicts, and more than 8,000 of these soldiers were from Florida. And whereas today 1.4 million Americans serve in active duty, 92,249 of whom are from Florida, while another 1 million Americans serve in the reserves and National Guard. And whereas on Memorial Day and every day, the citizens of Seminole County must remember the servicemen and women who sacrificed their lives to ensure our own freedom. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Seminole County Board of County Commissioners does hereby recognize May 30th, 2022 as Memorial Day, and be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners request that at 3 p.m. on Memorial Day, Seminole County residents voluntarily observe in their own way a moment of remembrance and respect, pausing from whatever they are doing to honor our military heroes and valor. I have an honor, a singular honor, to present this to Mrs. Miller. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to introduce our guest speaker for this morning's program. Colonel Ephraim E. Grubbs III graduated from the Citadel and was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Army in 1990. He served on overseas deployments in support of Operation Desert Shield, Operation Desert Storm, the Guantanamo Haitian Humanitarian Relief Mission, and multinational peacekeeping forces in Egypt. Transferring to the Florida National Guard in 1998, Colonel Grubbs served in various assigned positions, including Operations Officer, Headquarters Planning and Doctrine Officer, Battalion Commander, and Brigade Commander, before his retirement from the Army as a Colonel. Upon retirement, Colonel Grubbs founded a successful construction company in Lake Mary and began serving as the Director of Football and Head Coach for Lake Mary Pop Warner. Colonel Grubbs has also been active with the Rotary Club of Lake Mary for more than 15 years. Please welcome Colonel Ephraim Grubbs.
Distinguished guests here today, family of Staff Sergeant Robert J. Miller, thank you for that introduction, and I'm honored and humbled to stand before you to represent those who've gone before us all that we have laid to rest so that we may have a day of remembrance. Many Americans observe Memorial Day by visiting cemeteries, memorials, holding family gatherings, participating in parades, or like myself, watching the series The Band of Brothers. And as schools celebrate graduations, it also marks the beginning of the summer session. But today, we are honored to be in the presence of the family of Staff Sergeant Robert J. Miller, a Special Forces Green Beret who was only 24 when he saved the lives of nearly 24 Coalition Forces members pinned down during an intense 2008 firefight in Afghanistan. He sacrificed his own life for theirs, and that bravery and valor earned him the military's highest decoration, the Medal of Honor. The Department of Defense accounts the day that Staff Sergeant Miller made the ultimate sacrifice. He was a weapons sergeant with Special Forces Operations Detachment Alpha 3312, Task Force 33. And according to his colleagues, Robbie spoke French, German, some Russian, and Pashto, the local language of Afghanistan, which made him a good point man during missions because he could talk to the locals from which they worked. During the night of January 25, 2008, Staff Sergeant Miller's detachment was sent to Gowardesh Valley, a remote area in northwest Afghanistan near Pakistani border. Their mission? To clear out insurgents who had been attacking Afghan forces and terrorizing villages. In the frigid pre-dawn morning, Staff Sergeant Miller volunteered to serve as point man on a patrol, which had to go through the Ambush Alley, an area with 300-foot near vertical cliffs surrounding it. Once they got into position, they did confirm that there were indeed 15 to 20 insurgents inside that had already taken up fighting positions. Staff Sergeant Miller kicked off the battle using his vehicle's turret-mounted Mark 19 grenade launcher. He then called in the enemy's position, and the Air Force provided close air support to include bombing the position. And when the air cleared, they moved on foot to assess the damage. And again, Staff Sergeant Miller was on the point. As they neared the steep, narrow valley through which the enemy had come, about 150 insurgents pounced. Launching rocket-propelled grenades and automatic weapons fire from elevated positions and hiding spots on the ground, Staff Sergeant Miller's patrol had nowhere to hide. Since Staff Sergeant Miller was out front, he yelled to his comrades to pull back while he charged the enemy, some of which were only 20 feet away, to draw their fire, giving the others a chance to find cover. Once they were out of immediate danger, Staff Sergeant Miller tried to find cover himself, but was shot in the upper torso. About that time, the detachment's commander was also wounded, and the order was given for the team to fall back. Staff Sergeant Miller, however, knew he had the most firepower of all his teammates, so he stayed in that forward position, crawling through the snow to draw fire in his direction. His teammates recall Robbie seemed to disappear into the clouds of dust and debris, but they could hear him on the radio, still calling in the enemy's position. They could hear the grenades he threw. They could hear his weapon still firing as he provided cover for his team. Staff Sergeant Miller continued to move from position to position until his team heard his gun fall silent. Two of his teammates rushed forward to find him and be by his side at his last moment, but they were soon forced back by enemy fire. Several more hours passed, and the detachment was finally able to recover their Robbie from out of the valley. 5 coalition force members were injured that day, but thanks to Staff Sergeant Miller's extraordinary efforts, 15 Afghan soldiers and 7 members of his own team made it out alive. According to post-battle intelligence reports, of the more than 40 insurgents killed and roughly 60 that were injured, Staff Sergeant Miller was individually credited for more than half of the punishment inflicted on the enemy. The Bible, John 15:13, says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Robbie's friends referred to him as a loyal friend, a caring brother and son, and a great patriot. Another compared him to a comet, an extremely bright light for all to see and enjoy, if only for a moment. We're here today and able to enjoy freedoms of the United States because of the Staff Sergeant Millers that went before us. Now, I didn't know the Miller family prior to today, but I knew of Staff Sergeant Miller's story. And more so, I know of the meaning and purpose that Staff Sergeant Miller's life and sacrifice means to me and the veterans and first responders who serve so that Americans and those we defend may enjoy freedom. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines may begin their careers of service to our country and our state thinking of the Pledge of Allegiance, thinking of the Stars and Stripes and our nation's colors, and patriotism as a whole. But that quickly vanishes on your first overnight patrol or a night airborne operation at Fort Bragg in the dead of winter. And then a new purpose is born, that of loyalty and dedication to the person beside you, in front of you, or behind you. It's the thought of your families, but more so the bond of your brothers and sisters that you train with, suffer with, deploy with, who you will die for. And yes, service members, all of us at one point in time have considered that the profession that we chose may be the last thing we do. For it specifically says in our oath that we will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that we will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That's the specified task that we pledge before God. Implied is that it could cost you your life. That brings us to today, and events such as this, that we have the honor to remember those who gave their life so that we may live free. Even as a 30-year veteran, I'm in no way authorized to speak for all of them. But when I go to prayer and I contemplate what I can do to be the least bit worthy of their sacrifice and to honor them, and when I ask myself, what would they ask of me? What would they ask of us? I'm referred to the Old Testament verse Micah 6:8. To do what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly. You see, you have people here today beside you, in front of you, and behind you. So I ask that all who celebrate Memorial Day this weekend to enjoy these days with family, but remember those who made it possible for us all to do so. By doing what is right when faced with a problem or an opportunity. Love all that surrounds you, regardless if they fall short of your expectations. And walk humbly each day, recognizing and giving thanks to those not with us on this earth, and who paid the ultimate sacrifice that we may enjoy our daily freedom in memorial of their lives. Now, all of you here today may receive this message, but I urge you to go from here, and engage others on Memorial Day, simply asking them, what sacrifice do you honor on this day? And if they don't have a response, please share with them the story of Staff Sergeant Robert Miller. May God bless the Miller families of our nation. We are grateful and will walk humbly in the remembrance of the bravery and sacrifice of our men and women who died while serving the United States military. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Colonel Grubbs. At this time, our honor guard will conduct the formal rendering of colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we render honors.
All uniform personnel, wanted, fire detail, render honor. All uniform personnel, present, vote. All uniform personnel, order, up.
Please bow your heads and join us for a moment of silence as we remember our fallen heroes. This concludes our program. Thank you for your attendance today.
Bye-bye.